Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be following a Nikki makeup tutorial. She's amazing. She's my favorite makeup artist. If I could do my makeup like anyone, it would be her 100%. So she posts a tutorial every Sunday on her stories, and this last Sunday was this look and I was like blown away. It's like plummy tones, some pinks, but it's gorgeous. So I thought I would try to recreate it. She used all Natasha Denona products, and I don't think I own one Natasha Denona product in my collection at all. So we're definitely going to be trying to recreate the look with different products, and substituting some of the products that I have for what she uses. So we'll try. We're going to try our hardest. It's an amazing look. I probably won't be able to make it look as good as hers, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if we can recreate it with some different products. So let's get started. Okay, so I zoomed you in a little bit. So I did my morning skincare, put on my SPF, and so the first step that she does is use 2 different shades of foundation to kind of contour with foundation. And she uses the Natasha Denona, I think it's called like the glow something. So it's definitely like a glowy foundation. So I chose the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue foundation. I use this all the time, but it is really nice and glowy. And so this would be my lighter shade, because it does match my actual skin tone. And then for my darker shade to kind of contour, I'm gonna do this Morphe Hint Skin Tint. It's really nice and glowy. I have it in Hint of Almond, but it's definitely a little bit too dark for me right now. So I feel like it would be a good contouring shade. So let's try that first. So let's take the dropper and start with this. So she does under the cheekbones and on the forehead. I'm just gonna get really messy really fast. And below the jawline. Okay. Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna take a flat brush just so it's a little bit more precise and blend it out like that. It's a little bit of contouring action, you can kind of see. I'm going to take the lighter shade and use my Rare Beauty brush and put that in the center of the face. I think this foundation is definitely more coverage than the one she's using, but I definitely need it. So I'm going to try to make my skin look as flawless as hers does in the video. So that's the base. So it definitely does give a little bit of a contour when you do the darker shades, you know, kind of contouring with a darker foundation. It did work, so I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to do it, but it does add a little bit of definition for sure. So she doesn't use any concealer at all. It doesn't seem so. She doesn't show it at least. So I'm gonna skip it as well, even though I feel like I do kind of need it, but I'm gonna skip it. The next thing she does is contour a little bit more with a powder contour. I'm gonna take the KVD Shade and Light contour. This is in Lyric and Shadow Play. This is the contour powder, and just kind of a fluffy brush. She uses a smaller brush, but I don't have something kind of fluffy and small, I don't think. So I'm just gonna use this. And then she kind of just sweeps it on the cheeks. And on the temples. Do a little bit more because I feel like hers is very defined. Like you can definitely tell she's got contour on. A little bit more on the cheeks. So next she puts on a eyeshadow base, but I don't think I have any eyeshadow primers. I always felt like they didn't do much, so I just don't really buy them. But I'm just gonna set my eyelids with a little bit of concealer and kind of use it as a shadow base like she did. So it just helps to kind of even out the eyelids to create like an even base for the shadow. Okay, so the next thing she does is take like a black eyeliner pencil and put it on like the outer maybe third of the eyes and then underneath as well. She does this a lot. I noticed she uses an eyeliner to kind of carve out like where she wants to put shadow so that there's something for the shadow to like stick onto and kind of give her almost like a blueprint of what she's going to do with the shadow, which I think is a really cool tip, and I feel like it makes it a little bit easier to kind of figure out where you're going to go with your shadow. So I'm going to do that, and then she blends this out as well. It doesn't need to be perfect because like I said, we're gonna blend it out. And you can tell too if you watch her videos a lot, she doesn't make it like a perfect line. She's just kind of creating, like I said, like a line of where she is gonna go, and always blends it out. So it doesn't need to be like a perfect line or anything. It's just like a rough line of where she's gonna be going with her shadow. I'm gonna do the bottom as well. Okay, so I think that looks pretty similar to what she has. And then she blends it out with like a dense brush. So I'm gonna try this. I don't know if the Urban Decay 24/7 is as creamy as the one she has, because that one, she pulls it all the way out, like to the edge of her eyebrow. And so I'm not sure if it's gonna do that, but we're gonna try. And then when she comes back, she kind of pulls it down almost. You can tell that she's blending down then. I'm gonna do the top and blend that a little bit. I think the part cut out where she kind of does the top, but I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit and kind of connect it with that. And then blending here too, so it doesn't have like a stark line where it ends. It's a very like smoky look, so don't want any like harsh lines. I'm gonna leave it as that now. It's gonna be more blended than that, but that's where kind of she starts. So I'm gonna try to match the other side before getting too far. I like hold my breath whenever I do anything detailed or like eyeliner or anything. So I'm gonna blend these out now because she really blends this in, so it's not even a line at all. It's just creating a shadow and kind of elongating the eye. I'm gonna take a little bit more of a fluffy brush and just really blend that out, but staying close. Because you can see that it's still there. And it's creating like that shadow, but it's just not as harsh as it was at first. Okay, so it's definitely blended out more, but it's creating that shadow at the end of my eye. Then she adds some of the liner on the inner part, like inner third of the eye, or inner fourth even. And she says it kind of creates like a halo. So it's gonna be kind of smoke in the end and in the middle, and then a really light shadow on the lid. So she just adds it here. And then she blends that out as well. And you can tell in the next clip that it's blended up a little bit more, like it creates that, that shadow here. It's not just the liner, it's kind of shaded up. I'm gonna add a little bit more black because her pencil is definitely stays blacker than mine, or stays darker than mine. It's a little bit more intense. Mine almost, when I blend it out, almost fades as like a dark gray or blue. But hers seems to stay pretty black. So I'm just gonna deepen it up a little bit. I'm gonna blend it a little bit more up on this side too. To create that halo. after the liner, she takes like she calls it burgundy color, so it kind of reminds me of red ochre here. Hers is probably a little bit more purpley and plummy than this one, but this is probably the closest. Well, I think I might actually mix these two together because this Venetian red gives more of the plummy and purple, but then the red ochre gives kind of that more red. So I think them together is going to be pretty similar to the shade she uses. And she just puts it on top of where she has the liner to kind of create that like plummy depth. We'll see if these colors are any similar to hers. And just apply it over the liner. I'm gonna put it in the inner area too, where we had this liner. So I'm kind of just placing it, and then I'm gonna blend it out a little bit more with this fluffier brush. Kind of adds a little bit of a plummy tone. After like the liner and kind of creating that shadow, she uses a mauve, like a pink mauve tone in that palette. And I found one really similar. It's the Move Point shade. It's the Raw Beauty Kristi palette with Pure, and it's on like the nude side. And so it's this one. So it's very similar to one she uses, and she just uses that in her crease, or in the model's crease, as a transitional color, transitional shade. And she puts that in her crease, and then all the way to the inner corner. She kind of pulls it all the way in. For on the lid, she puts a really light shimmery pink color, and I don't have anything that's similar to it, so I'm gonna mix two colors. This one on like the colorful side of the Raw Beauty Kristi palette, in the center is a really shimmery pink color. I don't think it's like as pink as the one she uses in the video, so I'm going to add a little bit of the light pink here from the Lorac Pro palette and mix those two, and hopefully they'll be similar to the one she uses. She just puts it on the lid. It's maybe a little bit more sparkly than the one in the video, but still really pretty. Blend the edges a little bit. So my camera died. While I was waiting for it to charge a little bit, I added the eyeliner. And so she takes this liquid eyeliner and does a really thin line on the lash line. So that's what I did, just add a little bit of definition there. And then she went ahead and put mascara, and she put her lashes on that she creates, and they're beautiful and they're amazing, but I know they're really expensive, so I've been holding off on them. So I just put a lot of mascara on to kind of look like the effect of having false lashes on. So I used the Bite Upswing mascara and put the mascara on. The only other thing I did while I was waiting for it to charge was added a little bit more definition on the outer corner and the inner, and so I took those same two shades here and mixed those in the Modern Renaissance palette and just added a little bit more definition. It was looking a little like washed out and over blended, so I just added a little bit more of that darker tone in to add that definition that she has on her model. And then she does this little trick after doing mascara that I'm gonna try too. She takes like a little skinny angled brush, so I'm gonna use my Anastasia eyebrow brush, and takes a darker shadow. I'm gonna take red ochre, that darker. I'm gonna take that darker shade, and then she just adds a little bit going outward here to make it appear that your lashes are longer. I'm actually gonna use the brown. I feel like I don't have the right tone that she uses, so I'm gonna use this dark brown Cypress Umber and use that instead, because it kind of probably looks a little bit more like hair. But yeah, so she just adds it a little bit here to make it look like lashes and make it look like your lashes are a little bit longer. Which I thought was kind of a cool trick. I don't want to do too much because I feel like I could maybe make it look really silly really fast. Just creates a little bit of a shadow so you can see it, to make it appear that your lashes are a little bit longer. And then for brows, she uses Soap Brows, which she always uses, but I don't have that. I have Anastasia the Brow Freeze, so it's kind of the same effect that it gives. So I'm going to use that instead. And take a little bit on a spoolie. And I always rub it on the lid as well to kind of get some of that excess off. And she always pushes her model's brows pretty much straight up, so I'm going to kind of do that. Maybe a little bit more on the left eyebrow. And I'm gonna take the tip and just go on the top. I always do this just because some of my brow hairs are really long and I feel like it looks funny to have them like too straight up. Just gotta shape them a little bit. Then she fills in a little bit of like the sparse areas. I'm gonna take my Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit. This is in shade 4. And just fill in just a little bit in the sparse areas. Just brush them out one more time. Okay, so it's the brows done. Back on the face. For the blush, she uses a liquid blush, so I'm going to go with the Glossier. I have it in Haze. It's the Cloud Paint, and use that because that's what I have. And just do a teeny amount. Stuff goes a long way. And then blend that out. And then she adds a highlight. I'm going to use the Lorac Celestial highlighter. Kind of reminds me of the one she uses, very golden and intense. Just puts that on the cheekbones. And lastly, for lips, she lines them. I'm going to just line them with my Charlotte Tilbury liner in Pillow Talk. She uses a little bit more of like a brown shade, like a taupey shade. But I don't have one that color, so I'm just gonna define my lips with this and then use a different color of lipstick that matches more the tone she's using. But I want my lips to be kind of defined. And then she takes the lip liner and adds it to the corners to create definition, but this isn't the right tone, like I said. So I'm gonna use, this one's a little bit better. This is a lipstick from Too Faced. It's called Pout About It, and add that to the corners. So I just used that lipstick to create the same kind of effect that she was doing, so the darker on the outside, and then I'm going to use this lighter tone. This is from Butter London, which is kind of random, but it's called Free. And I'll put that in the center. I don't have like the really pinky lipstick that she has, so the lips are a little too overlined for me. I went a little far, but yeah, this is the finished look. So I know she doesn't add any concealer, but I feel like I need it like under my eyes. I have some dark circles and then some blemishes. My skin's not good right now. So I'm just gonna add a little bit for myself and my mind to kind of brighten a little bit. So she doesn't do this, but just to finish off and really make it look flawless, I'm just gonna add some concealer. I just felt like I needed that little bit of brightness under my eyes. I don't look so tired. I'm gonna set it with a little bit of powder. This is a mini Charlotte Tilbury powder, and just go like under my eyes so it doesn't crease, and then down my T-zone because I tend to get really oily there, and I just don't want to look a grease ball. Okay, I want this highlight to pop out and not the greasiness of my face. So these are just a little bit of added touches I'm just doing, just knowing my own skin and how I like to look. That's finished makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I hope you liked it. I think I did pretty good. I mean, it definitely doesn't look exactly, but I think I did okay for not being a makeup artist. It's really pretty, very fall-y and plummy and warm. I really like it. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And let me know how you think I did. I'll see you next Friday for another new video. Bye!